College football championship week is here. It's going down for real this Saturday, December 4th. The new promo code for this week is CHAMP. CHAMP saves 20% off the entire picksandparlays.net site. And I've got your college football bowl game rapid fire ready to go. With me today, I have Craig Trapp from Picks and Parlays here to dish the dirt. What's happening, Craig?
Well, it's that time of the year. It's holidays. It's championship week. It's where all the boys come to try to get to the championship week. You get here. Now you win this one. Now most of these teams have a chance to move on to win the national championship. So it's going to be an exciting week. I like all these games this week.
All right. So we're going to give you 5 free picks on 5 of the games on Saturday in under 5 minutes. That's how we roll. We're going to start off with the Baylor Bears against Oklahoma State. State's got -5.5, and the total's 46.5. Fire away.
Well, both of these, both the spread and the total moved pretty drastically. A point down. Oklahoma State was favored by 6.5, and the total 49.5. So numbers dropped pretty drastically. I like Baylor here, plus the 5.5. I think this game, the first time Oklahoma State won, I think this one's going to be a lot closer. Neutral field. I think Baylor's really, really good. I think Baylor easily probably should be 11-1 as well. Both of these teams are very, very good against the spread. Baylor 8-4 against the spread, and Oklahoma State 9-2-1 against the spread. Give me Baylor and all the points here at 5.5. I think they keep it within the number. I do think Oklahoma State wins, but I think it's more like a field goal type game. I think the defenses will be up to the task again. I think low scoring game as well.
All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down on that one. Go Baylor. My Houston Cougars are taking on your Cincinnati Bearcats. We got beef, Trapp. We got beef. Bearcats are -10, and the total's 53 on this one. Who are you looking at?
Well, unlike most of the other games, this is actually at Cincinnati. Most of these are neutral site games championship week, but in this conference, of course, that's not the case. So Cincinnati hosting a game. It's really cold in Ohio. That's, of course, where I'm located. I'll be in Cincinnati this weekend. Looks like could be rainy, but definitely cold. Cincinnati, that 10.5 looks pretty juicy. This is a Houston team that's very good up front. I like that defensive line. I also think Houston can run the ball and kind of limit the number of possessions. The Cincinnati team at times also can be a little inconsistent on offense. Obviously, I think Cincinnati wins the game, but give me double-digit and championship-type games. I think it's going to be close. I think Cincinnati gets this cover. Let's take Houston plus the 10. Remember, Houston was up in the first game of the year against Texas Tech. If they win that game, what would this line be if Houston was undefeated? I think this line is probably more like 4.5 to 6.5. So to me, I think we're getting some extra points just because Houston had that one loss to start the year.
Beautiful. So you picked 2 Texas teams right out the gate. This is going to be successful. I can already feel it. All right. So the Georgia Bulldogs -6.5 against the Alabama. I don't know if you've heard of them, the Crimson Tide. They're kind of a big deal, whatever. The total on this one is 50. Where are we headed with this one? The SEC championship game. Long awaited. Here we go.
Georgia has a little room for error here. Obviously, if Georgia loses, they're probably most likely still getting in as one of the top 4 teams in the playoffs. Alabama, not probably, unless it's really, really close. I think Alabama would not get in with 2 losses. So to me, I think, this is the first time also, I think since like 2015 or 16, I think since Alabama's been an underdog in any game.
Right.
So to me, you're getting 6.5 points, I think. And I think it's going to be a defensive battle. Georgia, they haven't allowed more than 17 points in any game this year. That speaks to but I keep going back to that opening week when they played Clemson, which Clemson at the time we thought was going to be pretty good. Not very good. Alabama's played a tougher schedule. I think that last week game where Alabama had to go to overtime, double overtime to beat Auburn, or triple overtime, right? Or whatever it was. I like Alabama here plus the 6.5.
It was 4 overtime. Yeah. It was 10-0 in the fourth quarter. Right. And then they went to 10 or 4 overtimes to win, 22-20 or something. Yeah. It was a lot.
Yeah, I want to take Alabama plus the points. Obviously, they're just going to – everything – if you don't get into the championship when you're Alabama to the playoffs, it's a losing year. So I think Alabama will play desperate. They might lose, but I think it's going to be close.
All right, and they are playing that game where the Falcons play in Georgia. Yeah. In Georgia. Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's
at the Georgia Dome.
There it is.
or the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Georgia, or in Atlanta.
Yeah. We're going to get there. It's
Yeah.
technically we're both right because Atlanta's in Georgia. Anyway, the Iowa Hawkeyes are taking on the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan's minus 11 here. The total's 43.5. I am just not that into the Michigan Wolverines. Let me tell you that about me. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of points. This is an Iowa team that, I mean, the first 5 games of the year, Iowa was ranked number 2, 3 in the country? I mean, obviously Iowa offense at times has been turnover prone and not explosive. So that's a problem. But it's not like Michigan puts up tons of points. They want to grind it out, play similar style of Iowa. I just don't think it's going to be high scoring. So if you're going to give me this many points, you're saying the total's 43.5. So if you just think Michigan's going to get, say, 24, 27, I think you have to take the points in Iowa here. I'm going to take all the points here. Michigan, obviously, you couldn't be coming off a bigger win after, of course, getting the monkey off their back, beating Ohio State. I think there's a little bit of letdown. Let's take Iowa plus the points.
Agreed. I think that line's inflated too because of that Ohio State game, for that matter. So yeah. Okay, so last one for the round. We're talking the USC Trojans at the California Golden Bears. Bears are minus 4.5. The total's 58. What do you say?
Well, let's be clear. This isn't a championship game because the Pac-12 championship's on Friday. This is a makeup game because of COVID outbreak. So this game got moved. Obviously, USC, big news, hired Lincoln Riley away from Oklahoma. They're facing a Cal team that has a lot more, in my opinion, to play for. USC, obviously, they're going to have different coaching staff. There's so much going on. I just think Cal will, and this line moved from USC favored by 1.5 to Cal by 4.5, even see some out there. So give me Cal minus the points here. I just think this USC team's been bad. I think Lincoln Riley's going to look back and wish he stayed at Oklahoma in years past. It's not like a quick fix going to USC. They need a lot of talent influx there at USC. I think it's going to take them a few years. Give me Cal here at the minus 4.5 number.
Yeah, I like that play. I think we talk about all the time that teams are in look-ahead spots. USC is in a look-ahead to next year's spot. That's where they're at right now. Let's all go home is where we're at on this
Senior
one.
Senior night too, I think. I don't think they had senior night earlier, so I think it's senior night for Cal. And let's be clear, neither one of these teams, even if they win, are going bowling because they're both 4-7. I don't even think they, even if there's a short number of bowls, they're not getting down to a 5-7 team.
Right. That makes me like senior night makes me like Cal even more for that matter. So yeah, a little bit more motivation against a team that is just doesn't have any at this point, unless we're talking next year. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Good luck this weekend. That was your college football rapid fire with me, Allie Burns, and him, Craig Trapp from Picks Parlays.